Welcome to the Best Sports Betting Podcast, where we'll talk about reviews, previews, tips, and all things betting related. Brought to you by bestsportsbetting.co.za. Now, on to our hosts.
How's it, punters? Welcome to 2021 and welcome back to the Best Sports Betting Podcast. Hope everyone's been well. Simon's with me as always. Simon, how was your New Year's? How was Christmas? How was all of your festive activities?
Well, Rob, it was pretty good. It was obviously a lot more chill than I'm used to, and I suppose the same could be said for everyone. I'd just come back from the States in early December, so yeah, the whole festive season so far has obviously been very different. But as I said, it's very different for everyone. But it's been nice. It's been good to get back in the swing of things and good to be home. Yeah,
a bit of a festive lockdown, but yeah, scorching down here in Cape Town, so it's been a nice, except can't go down to the beach, which has been a bit of a disappointment over Christmas and New Year's. But yeah, got to do what you got to do, and let's jump right back into some of the sports results over the weekend. Lots of football over the festive period, lots of cricket, so lots to talk about, and I think we'll jump into some of the cricket first. Simon, I know you were tipping. Was it Australia in the first test against India, and then India to bounce back? My memory doesn't quite go back.
Well, not quite. You almost got it right. So in our podcast 3 weeks ago, I was talking about. I said that India were quite good value overall in the Test series, and what happened is exactly the way I wanted it to, which was India ended up actually losing that first Test match, which pushed their price up all the way to 7-1 actually. And they actually bounced back in the second series, and they beat Australia by 8 wickets. So now the series is level at 1-1. But I actually think there's still some sense in backing India at a smaller price of 4-1 to win the series. But that I don't know if you saw that, Rob, but India actually, I mean, they ended up losing in incredible style.
Yes.
Their second innings, they scored it's an historically low 36.
36, yeah. I tweeted that out on the Best Sports Betting Twitter. Incredible, crazy. Very crazy. I mean, India of it's a batting side, you know.
Yeah,
mostly,
absolutely.
and pretty shocking. But yeah, that's cricket, and so nice call there. And then we had the South African cricket called off, obviously. And you've been watching quite a bit of cricket. Then you've been watching all the cricket, Simon, or been?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sri Lanka, South Africa, I've kept a pretty good eye on. Yeah, we find ourselves in a pretty solid position again in the second test against Sri Lanka. We beat them by an innings and 45 runs in the first one.
Very comfortably, yeah.
Yeah, which was played in its Centurion. The Proteas were outstanding with a bat, but with the ball they were a little bit dubious. I mean, Faf came very close to a double century. He went out for 199, which is a real pity. But I must say the bowling wasn't amazing in the first test. But now in the second test, I think we're looking a lot more well-rounded as a team. Just the bowlers, especially Nokia and Ngidi, who've actually taken the lion's share of the wickets, have been really, really good. And Quinton de Kock's been playing between 4 and 6 men in the slip cordon most of the time, which is paying dividends. I mean, our bowlers are getting such good ball movement in the air and off the seam. There's just been so many dismissals by caught behind. So it's been quite fun to watch with sort of 3 fielders in the outfield and like everyone behind the wicket. It's been quite fun.
Yeah, I haven't been watching too much to be honest. I've been following it a bit. Obviously, I followed the first one, and what I've been reading has been saying that it's an understrength Sri Lankan side, and I'm just worried that this is another kind of false dawn for us in the sense that it's a very good result, but it's maybe not against one of the strongest opponents. And yes, when our batting clicks, it clicks. The problem is it doesn't click when it needs to.
And also it also doesn't help when players like Bavuma give their wicket away after missing the ball by at least an inch and walk off. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that. So I need to catch that one.
Bavuma actually, I mean, it was not even close to a caught behind. Snickermeter had nothing. I mean, you could see with the naked eye very quickly that he missed the ball by a long way. And I don't know how Faf on the other end of this was in the first test. I don't know how Faf on the other end didn't tell him I didn't hear anything, but he just walked on 71. So
was there not some noise somewhere else on his pants, or there must have been
there was no contact with his clothing whatsoever. So that was very, very strange. Yeah,
well, good on him for walking, to be honest. Doing the sportsman, not in this situation, but
yeah.
When in doubt.
Absolutely.
Could be English,
Yeah. So but as I said, I think we're looking much more well-rounded in the second test, and as I said, I thought our bowlers were pretty average, even though we hammered Sri Lanka in the first series. But our fast bowlers in particular are looking much better, and our batting's been just as good as the first test. So I think we all should cruise to victory and win the second one too.
Okay, well, I've got the match live here, but I don't have any odds. It all seems locked up. Do you know what the odds were before the start of the second series?
Well, I can tell you that right now they're about 1-20 South Africa to win the second test. So
it's very short.
It's pretty much a dead certainty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. 1-20.
Yeah,
with cricket, you never know.
You got $1 million in the bank. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, not for me, but too rich. But so cricket, and then let's jump onto some of the Premier League. As I said, lots of matches taking place. I think one of the key talking points about some of the past Premier League is Arsenal's kind of turnaround. Talking quite a bit about Arsenal the last couple of weeks, and I didn't quite expect them to pick up some of the results that they did, to be honest.
Absolutely, they had such an awful run, and now they've won 3 in a row. And that includes a 3-1 win over Chelsea, which is pretty impressive. And also, both the United sides both the Manchester sides, United and City, have also been pretty solid of late. Liverpool and United are actually tied at the top of the league table now, after the Reds lost against Southampton 1-0 last night. So that was a match they were obviously expected to win, which would have put them above United. But now they're sitting level with them. And Newcastle also didn't beat. Liverpool also didn't beat Newcastle on Wednesday at Tyneside. So a little bit of a stutter from last season's champions. Yeah.
So what do you take from this going forward? Is City the team to, I feel, kind of back, kind of look at closer? Liverpool, and you can start backing them to turn around, I guess, improve their form, but I think I'll stay away from them for a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, I said I think Chelsea would fall away from the top of the table, and they have done so. I still think Spurs, City, and Liverpool are probably the sides really who are going to compete for the trophy. But I still think Liverpool is a stronger side than Spurs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be difficult. There has been some rather interesting results of late, but I think that kind of it'll revert to the mean a bit, and I think we'll see a bit more of the favourites kind of winning of late. I think it's been a little bit of a crazy couple of weeks.
Yeah. What was it, Boxing Day, with all those draws?
Incredible.
I think there were 4 draws. All the Boxing Day fixtures were draws, and they were pretty poor draws, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So lots going on in the Premier League, and that's taking a break for, I think it's a week or something like that, due to a couple of domestic cup fixtures. We've got the EFL Cup and the FA Cup, and the big one I would assume would be the Manchester Derby.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, because we've got the EFL Cup is midweek, and then the FA Cup is on the weekend. So in the FL Cup, Spurs take on Brentford tonight, and that's actually a semi-final. But then, perhaps the more exciting fixtures tomorrow when United host City. And as I mentioned earlier, these two teams are probably in the best form that we've seen them this season, actually. I think they're both looking a lot better than they have been in recent weeks. I think this will be a hard one to look away from. I think City are rightful favourites here. They're at even money. United's 3.5, so 5-2 in fractional odds to get the job done at Old Trafford. But I think unders is the call here, personally. I don't know what you think, Rob.
Look, I think in my opinion at least, the EFL, the Mickey Mouse Cup, at the Mickey Mouse Cup, I think I haven't checked team news. I haven't been following the team news that much. I'm just following more on my sort of general experience with the competition, and the sides tend to play second string teams. They tend to kind of mix it up and experiment a bit. And I know this is something that's said every season, but it kind of rings true. So I think unders is a good call. I don't think there's going to be too many goals. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think even 0-0, 1-1 maybe. I think under 2.5 at over even money is a good call, like you said.
Yeah, I mean the last match between these two was actually a scoreless draw at Old Trafford, and I expect a similar type of game. I like also backing a halftime correct score 0-0.
Yes.
And that's 22-10, so it's 3.1 in decimal odds. I think that's also a good call. So under 2.5 at 11-10 and halftime 0-0 correct score at 22-10. I think look like good bets in this one.
Also going to have a stab at 0-0 at, I'm just looking on Sporting Bet at 9.25. So, I mean, I'm if I were to have a bet on this, I think I'd be siding with you to go with not too many goals to be scored. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. I just hope that we don't see the usual mixing up with the youth squad and second string squad. Especially
it's
with
definitely a possibility for sure.
Especially with the festive period and all the games coming in thick and fast. So, keep an eye out for team news. But even then, it shouldn't be too high a scoring game unless they both feel two completely different sides.
Well, the good news is with because the United Kingdom went into full lockdown yesterday. Boris Johnson announced it, but apparently there will still be fans at the stadium, so at least there will still be a little bit of a home advantage there, I guess, and a little bit more of an atmosphere than there would have been if there were no fans. How it was in the early stage of lockdown. So that's definitely a positive.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. It's kind of football sort of evolved, and it's become a lot more entertaining to watch, or a lot more interesting to watch. They get all the speakers going. They're like kind of in the beginning of Corona, they weren't quite sure what they were doing in that sense.
Yeah.
But now it's like I think they're making the best of a bad situation. It's nice to see fans kind of slowly coming back into the European leagues.
But further on your point earlier that you made, Rob, about Arsenal, I actually looking at the FA Cup on the weekend. So obviously these EF Cup matches are earlier in the week, but on the weekend,
Newcastle, big one.
Arsenal hosts Newcastle, yeah, and they're 1.5 to win this, and I just think it looks. I don't think the price is ludicrous, but I just think this is just one of these games that Arsenal are going to just romp away with. Yes. I would actually take Arsenal on the -1 Asian handicap there, which is odds of 3 to 4, so it's 1.75 for a little bit more value. And that way, if Arsenal, they'll have to win the match by 2 goals for your bet to win, but a victory by 1, you'll return your full stake. So
yeah, I'm with you there. Looking at that one, I think that's the highlight of the week. The price on Arsenal's. It's right. I feel there's not too much value on it, but I think Arsenal, as you said, are also going to run away with the game. It's Newcastle. We're both Newcastle fans. Traditionally, we're not great against Arsenal, especially away from home.
Yeah.
Arsenal, the big turn in form. Newcastle on the road have only picked up. I'm just having a quick look now, but on the road, it's 4 losses out of the last 5. So not great reading there. In those losses, there's been quite a couple of goals conceded as well. So look, some of these haven't all been cup games. They've been Premier League and mixed games, but still, I think it's Newcastle also don't generally do too well in these cup games.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Rob. I think Arsenal looks a very nice bet on the weekend, and United City. I would look at any angle trying to get on the under there, whether it's at halftime or full time.
Yeah, I would include Arsenal in any kind of multiples that I'm going to be taking on the weekend. So yeah, nothing really solid from me this week. There's just too many games and too many Mickey Mouse competitions going on for me to get seriously involved. But lots of good matches at least to watch. Lots of kind of key matchups, so it should be at least entertaining in that sense.
Absolutely.
And then any other sport that you'd like to have a look at, Simon, coming up this week? Not too much I saw on my end.
I think that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Sri Lanka, South Africa. As I said, we do look like we're in the driving seat, but Sri Lanka managed to hold they managed to put up a little bit of a batting performance yesterday, but I think we should run away with it. But yeah, looking at looking at Australia, India, I just think even at this price, I took a little bit of 7-1 after India won the first test, but I still think 4-1 is a little generous on India to win that. They'll only have to draw one and win one to get the series done. So I like that, I must say.
Right, so yeah, that's Simon's bets. I don't have anything extra to add on to that. So I'll be maybe having a stab at that cricket. I'm not sure. Match is starting really late at night. I would love to have some in-play bets, but I'd need some time to watch the game. And I'm just seeing that. What time are these matches actually finishing, Simon?
Well,
SA time.
It's 1:30 in the morning that the Australia-India match, next test starts. So so it's a very early start for us in South Africa.
Yeah, because I like to do a lot of in-play betting on cricket. It's one of the most lucrative things that you can do, especially next ball and overs and unders on actual overs. I think it's such a great market, and some bookmakers have some really awesome markets. We should make a video on some great betting markets and do one while cricket games on, and have a look at some of the cool markets. That's an idea for one in the future. But yeah, Simon, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Hope you guys had a great end to 2020. Hopefully 2021 is going to be better, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.